It's time to get reflective. That's right everyone, Dragon Ball Super episode 106 just came out and it's a little meh in comparison to the last one. Find him, deathmatch with an invisible attacker. Well, it can't exactly be a deathmatch strictly speaking, that's against the rules. Where we last left off, Roshi and Goku are currently somewhere in the stadium tending to the old man's drained energy after a really action-packed and emotionally intense episode, which I have to admit was one of my favourites in this entire arc. After all that drama and intensity, this capping off of that previous story arc is just a little sudden. A bit of a disappointment, in fact. There's no real acknowledgement other than just simply saying, "Fight for me," and okay. It just seems a bit of a damp squib. It just feels off to me, but it does actually do the duty of doing minimal animation at the beginning of every single episode. But we have to focus on another group from Universe 7 today, and we are doing just that with the double act that is Gohan and Piccolo. And they're having to face off of one of Universe 6 token fighters, Dr. Rota, who is claiming that he is the most important man that you will ever see, and you will find out exactly why they call him Doctor. Actually, Dr. Rota, the only person that I call Doctor is the Doctor, and I am finding you, sir, to be an imposter. You, sir, are not him. Oh hey, we actually get shaky cam now. That's pretty fresh for Dragon Ball. You know, slightly jiggling the actual screen so it looks like there's something going on even though it's just stills. Okay, good tactic. That and having Dr. Rota not facing us so we don't actually have to draw the face. Brilliant, inspired. What is an even more brilliant idea is having Dr. Rota not actually do anything and silenced before he can actually do an attack. He's in fact silenced by a deadly blue bolt of beaming energy. Wait a minute. Could this be one of the Universe 2 fighters that we never got to actually see in the lineup? You know, hidden in shadows? Because the animators probably hadn't actually properly designed them yet. It's intriguing for everyone. Piccolo then has to sacrifice a poor defenseless rock to deduce that this is like his special beam cannon, only not as cool and awesome and it's totally lamer and his is the best by all. What also makes this curious is that the beam is super accurate, comes from very far away, and the two of them can't sense the energy so they can't pinpoint where it is exactly. This is a bit of a mystery, you could say. Gohan does like his mysteries. Maybe this will appeal to him. Gohan then asks if Dr. Rota is indeed dead, and Piccolo says that no, he can't be dead because if he was, then Zeno would come on by and ice the guy who actually did the blast that killed Rota, because remember, killing is against the rules. But then again, the Omni Kings did allow the Martha bottle to be used because it looked cool, and judging from that experience, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see that happen again, you know, the Omni King allowing something that was against the rules to happen because it looks cool. Suddenly, a red ball, which doesn't have to be animated, appears, and we get an extreme close-up of our attacker. After all that mystery and thinking Piccolo and Gohan were hidden well behind a big rock, actually seeing him in the reflection of the ball just be hiding behind a little pebble in comparison was just utterly hilarious. They were going like, "Hey, do you think they know where we are?" We're well hidden, right? Excellent camouflaging there, guys. Before Gohan and Piccolo can move to a safer location, Piccolo is actually, in an ironic twist, unable to dodge one of the bolts and actually sacrifices one of his arms. It's also made clear that these red balls don't actually emit energy but reflect it. Interesting. So it's like a pinball effect. I think Piccolo would be enthused about this right now, but I don't think he's in the mood for that because, you know, his arm's missing. You can't miss it. It's green. Gohan is then horrified that his master lost one of his arms, but wait, Gohan, you do know your master, right? Piccolo can regenerate limbs at will. It shouldn't really be that much of a shocker. Gohan, what's wrong with you today? First you forget the whole no killing rule, and then you forget that Piccolo can regenerate limbs? Yeah, you need to go have a sit down, mate. Don't worry, Piccolo fans, he's got a plan up his sleeve, or more accurately his arm socket, as his smirk attests. And if Super has taught us anything up till now, is that a smirk denotes that something big is about to happen. We then get an actual shot of our attacker, and it's Discount Clayface. Oh. I will also accept Sandman's lamer little brother, as well as judging from the shading around his mouth. What if Zangief and the Blob had a baby? After spreading his balls all over the arena, phrasing, Gohan and Piccolo set out their plan, and it's a pretty good plan, come to that. Use Piccolo's stretchy arms to lure the Blob into firing at it, and then Gohan can actually focus on where the beam came from. Gohan is worried that if they actually get closer, then they might actually be sitting ducks because near the assailant, it's relatively flatter than everywhere else around the arena, but judging from that you can't get a good placement, I'm not really entirely sure about that, but hey, drama. But don't worry, Piccolo, once again with a smile, has a solution. Create a smokescreen by throwing giant boulders! Satisfying and cool. In the cover of the Dust Bowl, the pair find a clue, something that we already knew from a few minutes ago, but up until now they didn't. This is an example of omniscient narrative. The blob is apparently straining to see in the dust, but I really wouldn't be holding that ball if I were you, Piccolo. You don't know where it's been, and yeah, okay, yeah, it can detect heat. How very convenient. And would you look at that, it's coming right for them. Dodge, go! Ugh. Old habits die hard, eh? Meanwhile, the Omni Kings are a little confused as to why there hasn't been any action going on for the past few seconds. The GP does his expositionary duties by explaining exactly that there is a sniper about the arena and what a sniper is. Super, I think most of your audience are gamers and they know exactly what a sniper is. All too well. Oh yeah, Tenshinhan's there, I almost forgot that he was. What's he up to? He finds Dr. Rota's body and once again, pretty much what we've seen already, deduces what's been going on, reflecting beams and all that. Whoa. Goku and Vegeta then blunder in and Tenshinhan warns them to get down. Vegeta then just shakes this off and is proved wrong in comedic fashion with the beam just almost hitting him. Ha! Oh, suck it, Jeets. But wait, actually, wait. There was an explosion? How did Gohan and Piccolo Oh, great, not that trope again. As we've seen many times in Dragon Ball, Gohan can't dodge, Piccolo has to get in the way and sacrifice himself, and as a result, his arms are completely torn clean off. Okay, it was cool the first time. It was somewhat of a neat comeback in the Resurrection F arc, but here... why? It doesn't even help that Piccolo's actually relatively fine. He can grow his limbs back and yeah, he's hunky-dory. In those other two times, he kind of went down and died. Like I said before, Piccolo is still standing and coming up with some great ideas. He then hits upon the idea of shooting beams at the rocks, so that means they heat up and they can't be detected by heat radars. That's pretty cool, or should I say, hot? Now that sounds weird too, but hey, I ain't kink shaming. Much like how a sniper in a multiplayer game gets frustrated, the blob then gets frustrated and decides to shoot beams across the entire arena, scattergunning. But actually, when he's firing the multiple beams, we get something quite curious. He's not the guy actually firing the beams, he's just reflecting them. He is a big reflector himself, he's just a big giant ball. At this point, Tenshinhan, Goku and Vegeta are mimicking the fans at this point by going like, why are they attacking? Why are they dodging? Do something! I think Toei's a little sore at this point, don't you agree? But after all the detective work that Gohan and Piccolo have been doing for the first half of the episode, Goku just turns around and spots the guy right there and then and just goes like, oh, do you think that has something to do with what's going the pew pew stuff? Yeah, of course, Goku finds the idea because it's Goku. Tenshinhan is acting as beam fodder as Goku and Vegeta go after the assailant with a Gali gun and Kamehameha at the same time. It would look really cool and it does dislodge the big blob guy, but it doesn't actually kill him. Well, when I say stop the beams, I mean reflect their beams right back at them. Nice one, Jeets. We then get to see the blob's partner, Hermilla, and it looks like a cross between a dinosaur, a bird, and Blanca from Street Fighter. Awesome. Oh yeah, by the way, the blob is called Plum. Like a plum, but doesn't look like a plum. Meanwhile, Tenshinhan observes that Hermilla has to jump and shoot, much like Mega Man, in order to actually carry out the attack, and deduces there might be a way to actually pin him down. How do you do that? Well, bring back an old favourite, the multiform technique! That third one looks like he's dead inside, and that one on the left looks so cool with himself right now. He's a total smug beggar. But don't be expecting an exciting four-way battle. One of the clones gets offed almost immediately. Start as we mean to go on? Well, I mean, the second one bites the dust not long after that, but it turns out that Tenshinhan's not intending to fight with clones, but actually use their eyes. 12 eyes are better than 3. It is actually quite a clever strategy when you look at it with your eyes. Well, R2 in comparison to 12. Vegeta is getting bored by not doing anything and decides to throw a rock in frustration, which actually dislodges Plum from his location. Oh yeah, let's just throw rocks at him and he'll go away. Physical attacks for the win. I gotta say, seeing these two mighty heroes resorting to just throwing giant boulders at an attacker is entirely daft and I love it. In the ensuing chaos, Tenshinhan finds Hermilla, skulking around the rocks. It's down to just him now. We can't see any more clones around him, so they're all gone, or at least we think. He then resorts to the Shinki Koho, and it does enough to actually blow away Hermilla's cover, as well as seemingly disabling his arm power-up shoot abilities. Tenshinhan is victim to a sneaky attack by Hermilla. It turns out that his arms weren't damaged after all. As Hermilla blows away that section of the arena, old Triclops falls to his defeat. Altogether now, he let his guard down. Or did he? Turns out Tenshinhan made more clones of himself at the very last minute and takes Hermilla down with him. Glorious. Even Beerus is impressed. As for Prum, well, he doesn't have any attacks of his own, so it turns out that he's about to be assailed by Dr. Rota, now revived, who are then both attacked by Vegeta's Gallic Gun and sent hurling out of the ring as if they meant nothing in the grand scheme of things. Man, Vegeta's got some pent-up anger right now, but at least he looks more normal than he does in the preview from the previous episode. He looked weird. The episode ends with Goku and Vegeta resolving themselves to make up for Tenshinhan's loss by taking out the rest of the rival fighters. I wouldn't get too cocky if I were you, Jeets. If my theory is anything to go by, you're next. All in all, this episode wasn't as exciting as the previous episode, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. There were some very clever strategical efforts here. Whereas episode 105 was emotionally intense and actually had some good drama, this episode felt a lot plainer, but it did give Tenshinhan something to do and gave him a decent send-off. He took someone out with him by using the multiform technique, using all of his powers to the fullest. Although then again, we didn't actually get to see the forearm technique after all that. Turns out that was just a nostalgic comeback from episode 89. And also, Tenshinhan didn't lose because he was weak, he was just taken out by a really sneaky beggar. Other than that, there's not really much else to say. Dr. Rota was just a gag character from Universe 6, and Vegeta was just showing quite clearly that he's going to be the next one to be eliminated, I think. He's just shooting beam after beam, running into proceedings, completely recklessly. He's going to be letting his guard down, I am sure of it. Will he be making a potentially early exit? Well, we'll just have to wait and find out. But anyway, that was my review for Dragon Ball Super episode 106. Tune in next time for my review of episode 107. Until then, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later.